Hello and welcome to Journey to Success. It is Sunday night, February 23rd, and I am your host tonight, which is, I'm your host every night. Well, not every night, but every Sunday night, Pete Asmus. And I wanted to welcome you guys tonight to Journey to Success. We're focused right now in a series that is on questions are the key to unlocking your reality. And I think we're on chapter 8 right now, which is communicating with others. And so tonight, I'm really excited about what we're going to be talking about because, man, when you're going after your goals, when you're going after your mission, when you're going after whatever it is that you want in life, if you can't communicate with others, you're seriously going to have a challenge. You're going to have a problem getting anywhere because if people don't understand what you need, what you want, if you're not verbally getting your information across, non-verbally, all those different ways, then you're going to have some problems. So we've got some cool questions that you can ask yourself. Some of the questions that I'm actually asking myself right now that can really kind of leverage you guys into a different position. And the reason I'm saying that is because that's what I'm doing. I'm saying these questions every day, and I'm basically giving you my results as well. So realize that Journey to Success, this whole thing that we're doing, guys, this whole webinar series that we're doing is all about you. It's all about me. Ah, man, that does not work. That hold on. There we go. So that way I can't see myself. It's all about getting you guys to the next level of you. And this series specifically is the how to do that. And what I mean by that is the questions that we need to ask ourselves. So on a regular basis, we're constantly asking ourselves different questions, and some of them are empowering and some of them are disempowering. And the challenge is to know the difference and be able to curtail the wrong questions, right? Because we ask them on a constant basis, don't we? Don't you get up every morning or you something happens and it's not right, you stub your hand, you if you hit your hand in the car door or something like that, right? And you're like, man, and you're just looking for something to blame, somebody to get angry at, something to happen. And the question goes, oh man, this is always happens to me. Every time I'm trying to get somewhere, this happens, right? Every time I'm trying to do this, this happens. Every time I'm trying to do this happens. We start going into these horrible generalizations. We go into these words that are disempowering, like try. And these things, they start taking hold, they start taking root, and they start to grow inside of us. And now what's happening is instead of us feeling like we can go wherever we want, instead of us feeling like we can accomplish anything, all we're doing is being tied to the ground. All we're doing is afraid of this or that. We're afraid to do anything because we don't know what's going to happen. And because we've had some bad experiences, we're glued to that rearview mirror. And all we can do is look in that rearview mirror and go, man, you know what? It's not me. It's got to be something in that past, and I got to make sure I don't repeat that. But the problem is, when you look so hard at the past, you can't see in front of you. Now, all of a sudden, every opportunity that comes and presents itself, you're blowing off. You're not even looking at it. And if you are, you're looking at it and what you're doing is going, all right, well, this must be just like blank, or this must be just like blank. And you're completely taking the legs out from opportunities before they ever get a chance to present themselves. Does that make sense? So we're going to go over some of the different things tonight, but I'm telling you, tonight is one of my favorites because tonight we're going to be talking about focusing on your outcome. And I'll tell you right now, there is no other one trick, there's no other one technique, there's no other one question that is more powerful than when you're asking questions to focus on your outcome, or one strategy that's more powerful than focus on your outcome, because there's different questions that we'll ask to be able to do that. But the biggest strategy, the biggest tip that I could ever give you would be that when you know where you want to go, when you start, and we talked about this a few times ago, a few webinars ago, when you let where you want to go, the end result, when you let that dictate your actions, you're going to get where you want to go because you've already seen it, right? It's like when I talk about writing down your goals. You're writing down your goals. The goal is where you want to get. So when you get there, when you achieve that, right? Now you have a strategy. Now you have something that you can look back on and go, okay, well, this is what I needed to do in order to get there. But when you haven't reached that goal yet, when you haven't attained that yet, what do you do in that situation? How do you react to a situation like the person you want to become when you're not that person yet? We're going to talk about that tonight too. And that's one of my really favorite things to talk about right now, honestly, because that's one of the big challenges I've given myself last week. I went through a whole bunch of things, and there's some different changes that I really want to have happen in my life now. And I don't know. It's weird because you can want things, and like anybody, right? We can put things in our way. I can constantly sit there and move objects and put up walls, and create this environment where I'm not going to be able to fulfill. I'm not going to be able to step outside of my comfort zone because I'm putting up walls and I'm creating situations where it doesn't allow it to happen. And so one of the things I've been working on a lot is that focusing on the end result and asking those questions that empower me, asking those questions that I'm going to show you tonight are going to get me where I want to go. When we just have actions, when you just run in a direction, you don't know where you're going, you're just running, you're going to end up somewhere. But where you end up, who knows? So I'm going to show you two different things tonight about not only knowing where you're going, but also planning the path in order to get there. Because there's two different steps to that, right? One, you want to know where you're going. Two, you want to know how to get there. Now, this call, this webinar, this event tonight, we do it every single Sunday, okay? Hello. There we go. We do it every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, every single Sunday. And I mean every single Sunday. I've done this for I've done this for I believe over a year now. And I'm here every single Sunday because to me, this is my dedication to you. This is my commitment, but it's also my way to not relax, but my way to vent, my way to talk to you guys about what I'm going through and share that, because this is our journey to success. It's not just mine, it's not just yours, but it's both of ours. It's all of ours. Because this is the way that we're all going to learn. We're going to grow. We're going to learn from each other, grow with each other, and move forward. And so that's what this group is all about. That's what this journey to success is. It's not about specifically real estate. It's not about anything particular except you getting the most out of you that we can get. Us taking you to the next level. Now, the way I make my money is in real estate. And in fact, I'm one of the co-founders of Coast to Coast RIA, if you don't know. And we have 34 chapters in 16 states with over 10,000 members. And if you guys have not become a national member, real easy. All you got to do is go to c2cria.com/join, JOIN, and you can go ahead and join for free. And it's all about providing resources. I'm going to show you some different things on our site later. But I want to share with you guys what our mission is, what our real desire is. And our dream is to network. Our dream is to create opportunities with our members. We don't want to make money off of education. That's not how we want to do our thing. We want to make money off of real estate. So that's our mission. That's our goal. That's what we do. And that way, you know a little bit more about who I am and me and Coast to Coast. You can also go and you can Google us. I mean, you can Google Pete Asmus. My name's right there, PETEASMUS. You can also Google Ivan Obron, all of us, and find out who we are, though, because you're going to see there's a lot of people out there that promise things, that do things, but they don't fulfill. You're not going to Google my name and see a whole bunch of bad stuff because I don't do bad things. I don't lie to people. I don't tell people they're going to get this and then they get that. I don't do anything like that. In fact, I've fought very, very hard to protect my name, to make sure that everything that I do is always in the best interest of you. Because I know that if I care more about you than you do, and sometimes, man, it's crazy that it's true, and it actually pisses me off because I don't think I should really care more about you than you. But sometimes that happens. And what do I mean by that? I mean, how many of you guys listen to this daily or listen to this webinar on a weekly basis? Do you actually tune in? Now, I know that there's quite a bit of you because like right now we've got 57 people on the webinar, but I know sometimes we have 80. Now, I know this also gets about 2,000 downloads a month, which means there's a ton more of you listening on the podcast than are actually listening live. And the reason that I think that that's an important point to make is because if some of you, all of you actually, would shift from doing things that are convenient to doing things that are important. And this call, it is important because this call is going to gear you up for the rest of the week. This call, if you let it, the things that I'm teaching in this series, they're amazing concepts. And they're not just concepts, they're strategies, they're tools, they're keys. But they only work if you use them. You can't just put a whole bunch of keys in your hand and then walk around and go, I don't get it. They don't do anything. Well, no, they're not going to jump out of your hand. You've got to actually take the key and use it. So when we talk about the things, the strategies, the tools, the questions to ask, it's great. But if you're not implementing it, it's just entertainment. And as entertaining as I really do want to be, and I do want to be, entertaining. Thank you. I appreciate it. I get it. I do want to be entertaining. But more than that, I want to inspire. I want to impact. Those are the two words that I want to do. Entertain, yes. Laugh, yes. All that stuff. But I want to create a new you. And let me rephrase that. I don't want to create a new you. I want to help you create a new you. I want to shed the skin that's on you to show you who you really are. And the first trick and the first tip that I'm going to give you right now is a question that I've been asking on a regular basis recently, which is, if I was the person I wanted to be, how would I react in this situation? Or how would the person I want to be react in this situation? So like when something weird happens, and I mean, it could be anything. Let's just take if my daughters, right, are out in public and they start running around and being freaks. You know what I mean? Now, typically I'd want to start going, hey, all right, come on. And then at some point, right, I'm going to snap because if you know me, I'm intense and I'm going to be like, hey, come on, stop messing around. Like, let's go. I'm done. Right. And I'm going to hold on. Oh man. See, I wish all this stuff would, there you go. There's the whip, right? Let's go. Bam, right? And I'm going to grab him and I'm going to take him out. And so now I sit there and go, okay, what do I want my end result to be? What do I want people to think about me? And how do I want to feel about myself? And then I generated a persona, a person that I want to be. And recently what I've been doing is I've been saying, okay, well, how would that Pete act? How would that Pete create the situation? How would that Pete act in this situation? And I've started doing that. And I got to tell you, man, it's crazy. It's crazy because it works. I've literally not got pissed off at times because I've done that. Where I'm like about to just lose my, right? I'm about to lose my, right? And instead, I go, okay. Right now I want to freak out. So if I was the person I want to become, if I was the person that I want to be, how would that Pete react right now? What would he do? And then I've gone, all right. He'd be calm. He'd be calm and he'd want to get them to listen to his side because he would want them to do it because they want to do it, not because he wanted them to do it. So he would find a way to make that happen. And I've started doing that. And I've got to tell you, man, it is amazing. It's amazing because when you can stop yourself from going sideways and you can start asking a different question, that's just the beginning. Controlling your anger, controlling your emotions, right, is part of the battle. It's the first step, but the second step is going to be implementation, getting other people to see your side. Well, if you can start doing that to yourself and stopping yourself from reacting and causing emotions, right? You're going to start creating that person that you wanted to be. I've said this like almost the last 4 webinars in a row that when you really understand what I'm saying, when I say to you that in order to become the person you want to be, you have to become the person that you want to be. When you can really, when that really clicks, you're going to be like, holy crap, that's easy. This is crazy. Like how easy this is. And it didn't become easy for me until I asked the right question. And that question was, how would the person that I want to become react in this situation? That's it. I mean, that's literally the question that I ask. And that has changed my results. It's changed my reactions. It's changed my trajectory. It's changed the direction that I'm catapulting my life. And here's what I want to share with you guys. One degree in change of trajectory, when you go out the distance, when you go out 2 years, 3 years, when you go out, right? If we want to talk about like guns, if you're on a gun range or with a bow and arrow or anything, right? I mean, you're going to get this concept with me. If we fire, boom, we hit and we're off target, right? What do? Well, we were off by a foot. Okay. Do we do that? Do we move a foot over? No. If we moved a foot over, how far off would we be down the field, right? We'd be shooting on a different thing. Let's take golf, same thing. So what is it that you do? You make a tiny change to get that change down there, right? You don't want to make some big change. You make a big change, you're not going in the same direction anymore. I want you to understand that too. When you go, well, I'm going to do something huge, and that way I'll get my life going in a different direction. Yes. Yep. Oh. Okay.
Yes.
There we go. That's what I meant to do. Yes, you will. Will I get it going in a different direction?
Yes.
Will I like it? Oh man, these got to be closer together. Will I like it?
Maybe.
Well,
maybe.
What? Who talks like that? Anyways, will I like it? Maybe. I don't know. But if I like the direction my life is going, but I don't like some of the results that I'm getting from it, I don't want to quit my job. I don't want to completely change my trajectory to going, instead of going north, going west, right? I don't want to go 90 degrees to the right. Does that make sense? To the left? I don't know which. All right, stop talking. I don't want to go in 90 degrees either direction. I want to still go straight. So what does that mean? I've got to angle it just slightly. I've got to change slightly. And those things are going to be these words. Now, the other cool part about this, you guys, and I promise you this is amazing, is when you combined using those questions, right, with changing the words that you actually use. And that's what these wristbands are all about. I mean, if you guys don't listen to our daily motivational videos, man, you're crazy. I don't understand it now. Okay, well, I kind of understand it, I guess, because my girls have been talking ridiculously long now. I used to do videos that were 30 seconds, 45 seconds, like a minute and a half was like tops. And now I can't get them to go under 6 minutes, man. It is crazy. We've added so much stuff, and the girls just keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And it's like, okay, let's get to the point. And now it's, man, I don't know. So it's crazy. I mean, we have them talking all the time, but listen to those videos, because every day I get to talk for my 30 seconds that I do. And I have a 30-second clip in there that's going to punch you. It's going to hit you. Today, the focus was this. I realize every morning when I get up, I actually started getting up a little earlier, and I would hit my snooze twice. Now, most of the time, we're taught, no, you don't do that. When you wake up, boom, you get up and, oh, today's going to be a great day, right? And you're going to sing and you're going to clap and woo, yeah, and you're going to go crazy. But to me, that's kind of crazy too. I get the concept of wanting to get up and be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, right? But that's like, I don't know, that's like electrocuting a blind guy, right? And then sending him on his way, right? So now he can't see and he's just running like the Jesus just zapped the crap out of him, right? So now he's hauling ass, but he can't see anything. So I don't know why. That was funny to me, just thinking of somebody naked, or not naked, blind, running down well, I don't know, maybe they're blind and naked, running down the street because they just got electrocuted, which is not what we should do, right? I don't want to be that person at all. I mean, Will Ferrell, he was funny, right? Not blind, but funny. So to me, this is all about jumping outside of that comfort zone, right? This is about getting up. So this is what I do every morning. The alarm goes off. I hit snooze. I lay back in bed. I sit there. I close my eyes. I don't go back to sleep. I sit there and I focus and I go, what am I going to be doing today? And I run through my day in my head. People talk about visualization. They talk about sports guys and athletes, right? They visualize what they do. Did you know that they hooked people up to a machine, right? Athletes. And they had them visualize their runs or visualize their I think it was I don't know why I'm doing this with my fingers, but the hurdle guys, right? They were hurdlers. And it was crazy because they were going 1, 2, 3, jump, 1, 2, 3, jump, right? And so they were doing this and they were seeing it, and the impact, the twitch fibers, all these muscle groups were twitching just as fast. The brain, it was almost like the brain couldn't tell between real and visualization. And so my thought is, if that works for athletes that want to be at the top of their game, right? Why wouldn't you spend 10 minutes of your morning and start it off right? Hit the snooze button, lay back in bed, and visualize your life. Visualize your day. Visualize your day going right. Visualize all the amazing things that can happen. Now, could you possibly visualize things that are bad? Yes, probably, right? We all do. We visualize these horrible things that could happen, right? Especially if we're stressed out. This is the beautiful thing about what we're talking about right now. And this is why I'm so excited about this. Look, when you visualize something, right? And you start visualizing it in a bad way, you're giving energy to that, right? And that concept of giving energy, you're giving energy, emotion, effort. If we cut it though off at the legs and we go, nope, not going to happen, you have the ability to rewind and play it again, play it again, play it again, play it again until you get it right. If you, however, don't do anything and you boom, jump out of bed and you're Johnny on the spot, right? Just ready to bang it and go. Now, what happens when you don't react? What happens when you don't react correctly? When you don't respond in the right way to a situation? Well, now you don't get to rewind and play it back again, right? So for me, if luck is just preparation meeting opportunity, man, you need to be prepared all the time, not just some of the time, all the time. Because at the end of the day, right? Don't you want that happening? There we go. I don't know. I would assume so.
What?
Well, I think that they would want money. I wouldn't you want money?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, see, there you go then. That's the way this works, right? So it's all about you visualizing what you want. It's all about you visualizing that. Close your eyes. That's it. We got to visualize that over and over again, right? Can't you hear that? I could hear that over and over and over again, man. Why can't I be number one? And here's the thing. We should be listening to these things over and over again. Because
winning is not a sometime thing. It's an all-the-time thing. You don't win once in a while, and you don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit.
It's a habit, man. It's a habit. Do you guys understand what that means? It is a habit. That means that every day, man, am I hearing somebody in the background right now? Sean, I am. I'm hearing you. There we go. Mute. Winning is a habit. It's something that we do on a weekly basis, a daily basis, an hourly basis. It's something that you need to be doing constantly, not just once in a while, not when it's comfortable, not when it's convenient, not when you feel like it, not when your hair is right, not when you're in the right mood. It means every single day. I don't care if your life is going right. I don't care if your job is going right. I don't care if everything in your life is collapsing in front of you. The only thing that is going to get you back up on top is if you accept responsibility for where you're at and then you start fighting back. But if you just sit there and go, it's not my fault, I didn't do anything, I don't know why this is all happening, oh, poor me, woo. Well, then great. You're going to end up in the welfare line. Have a great day. And you're going to end up wanting to have more kids because then that's going to give you more money. I mean, if you have no other option, what are you going to do for money? That's why people that are in bad situations, they stay in bad situations because they can't see past it. They can't see out of it. And it's not because they couldn't get there if they wanted to. They could. But it's because the path of least resistance leads to the left. It's weird. I was thinking about I can't believe I'm saying this because I remember being a kid and I remember my dad saying, "Oh, you have it so easy, you have no idea, back when I was a kid." Rah, 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 rah. And it's like, "Come on, man." But now, like thinking about the way that society is, it's so much softer than it was when I was in the Navy, we got lit up in the Navy. They called it mashing, right? And it was like stupid, like 1 hour of up, down, on your feet, on your legs, on your arms. And just so they were like killing you. And now it's like you can't even cuss at them in boot camp. They're like, well, you're darn it, you guys need to get into action right now. Come on, there's no fear involved there. Now, I don't think that you should be able to, like, if you go back to the 70s, like, I don't think you should be breaking people's legs, right? And beating the crap out of people and hitting them with soap bars. That's not what I'm encouraging. But at the same time, I think this whole thing of everybody getting a trophy or a some kind of medal or something just for participating is absolutely crazy, because it just teaches everybody that, hey, it doesn't matter if I work hard or if he works hard or if anybody works hard, because we all get something. But that's not real life. It isn't. If it was, we wouldn't have poor people. We wouldn't have poverty. We wouldn't have all these things. The reason that we have all these different classes is because there are separations, because the effort that you put in does make a difference. Because the guy sitting over there not doing anything, being lazy, not going anywhere, I'm telling you right now, 99 out of 100 times isn't going anywhere in life. I'd even say 999 out of 1,000 times isn't going anywhere in life. Does that mean that some idiot can't get lucky once and hit the lottery? Absolutely. Does that mean that some of them aren't already rich and they're trust fund babies? Absolutely. But the reality of, let's take about, let's not look at and go with the masses. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, let's look at percentages and let's look at the highest percentage of, if you do something, right? If you sit at home and you don't do anything versus going out and doing something, which one is going to get you where you want to go? The answer is that. And we know that. So why don't we do it? What is it that stops us as human beings from taking a step forward? It's so weird. I was watching Jillian Michaels, and she was doing this ad, this video, or this commercial. And she was like, guys, I know everybody wants to get in shape. You want to get in shape too? Hey, come to my website and I'm going to give you this free weight tracker and I'm going to give you an analysis of what you've got. Don't worry about it. We'll be there to help push you forward. All it takes is you taking the first step. It was something like that, right? But it was all this huge call to action. And I sit there and I'm listening to it and I'm like, man, it's crazy to me. People will be diabetic, right? 260 pounds, 300 pounds, completely overweight. They know they're overweight. They will see that and they'll go, yeah, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. When? When you're dead? I don't get it. You look at like Louis Anderson, you look at John Candy. Those guys were so big. Not in a healthy way. And there's tons of Americans that are in that same situation. I was in that same situation. I weighed 260 pounds. I had a 45-inch waist. Well, it was bigger than that, but the pant size was 45 inches. That's crazy to me. I graduated high school at 130 pounds. So that means I doubled. Holy cow. I doubled in size. Literally doubled in size. Right? Now, why? People say, oh, well, you got older. No. Well, it's not your fault. It absolutely was my fault. I ate like shit. I ate like crap. I didn't work out. What do you think is going to happen? I'm not going to continue to look like an Adonis and have a six-pack. That's not going to happen. It's going to catch up to you. So when I wanted to start losing weight, I didn't go and jump on some kind of bandwagon that was this fix it or fake it or whatever. Because to me, what got me there was me. So me jumping on some kind of weird pill or diet or this, a diet is a temporary solution to a permanent problem. I needed a permanent solution to this permanent problem. So I started thinking, what's different? what's different about before and now? Well, when I was 130 pounds, I lived in a group home. I grew up in a group home. I didn't live it. In fact, I was homeless for a while when I was a kid, like 16, living on top of Alpha Beta for about 2 months. And then the state of California did not think that was okay. So I ended up going to Olive Crest, Orangewood, which is almost like juvenile hall, but like a step up from juvenile hall where, well, it's an orphanage. I guess it would be the city of Orange uh yeah, it would be like an orphanage because it's just a bunch of kids that taken away by the state, didn't have parents, da 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 da. And um what doing that, what being in that taught me through being in those types of situations was I had to do everything on my own. I had to start doing things on my own. And at that point, I didn't have a car. So if I wanted to go anywhere, I had to get up and walk. I had to go ride a bike. I had to get there somehow. I didn't have parents that took me everywhere I wanted to go. I didn't have a car. I didn't have any of that. So I started thinking, okay, well, what did I do? And I mean, I remember riding from my dad's house to the beach, which must have been like, 10 miles. I mean, something stupid, right? And so I started getting up every morning and walking 5 miles every day. Every day. I mean, there is no, well, what about days you took off? I didn't take days off. Did you, when you were a kid, did you take days off of playing? What would be the harm in me walking 5 miles every single day? Nothing. And in fact, in a year, I lost 100 pounds and now I weigh 160 to 170. So, or I'm sorry, 170 to 180. So the reality is I changed my life. I took the responsibility for why I got there and then did something about it to move that forward. I cared more about my result than I cared about the pain or issue or uncomfortable or anything else. In fact, at that point, I cared more about losing weight than I did about anything else. I mean, there was some days where I was going to the gym twice. I'd get up in the morning, go to the gym, go to work, then come home, go to the gym. I barely saw my family for probably 3 or 4 months. And it sounds jacked up, but it's what needed to happen for me to take my life seriously. My thing was I wanted to be with my kids. I wanted to be able to go. We had these passes to Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm and the zoo and SeaWorld and everything, right? But I never wanted to go for more than an hour because I got winded. I was tired. And so that stuff needed to change. I needed a different outlook. I needed a different perspective. And so that's what I started doing. I started asking different questions. I started asking questions that would keep me focused on my end result because I knew that, man, life sucks sometimes. It does, but nobody else wants to be in that boat with you. And they don't want to invest in anybody that thinks you're in that boat either. So it means you've got to constantly be playing a happy game. And if you're getting into anything, there's going to be challenges that you have. There's going to be questions that you don't know. And a lot of times we want to try and blame everybody else. Well, he didn't show me that or they didn't. Man, at the end of the day, it's you. How much do you care about what you want? Because if you care enough about what you want your end result to be, you're going to be there. Sometimes your ego is going to get shattered. Sometimes your plan is going to get smashed. And sometimes everything that you do won't even matter because it won't work. It just will end up failing. But the reality is, if you do nothing, you're never going to get where you want to go. You're going to have to go through these landmines. You're going to have to go through these growing pains. But here's what I'm going to tell you. The more pain that you go through, the better, man, that other side is. Because I'm going to tell you, what I've been through in my life has really sucked sometimes. I mean, my son had brain cancer. My daughter has alopecia. I could keep going. My point isn't to bring you down. My point is to show you that no matter what happens, I've got to be positive. No matter what happens, I've got to stay focused on where I want my life to go. Otherwise, it's not going to go there. It's not going to end up there, right? So where is it that you want your life to go? What is it that you really want? And now think about this for a second. Are you really doing everything that you can to attain it every day? Every day? No. We make excuses all the time, don't we? We come up with all kinds of reasons why we can't do things, right? And I know I'm saying can't, but I it's because in the context, I think it fits. The reality is what you care most about will happen. If you care most about succeeding, it'll happen. Now, it may cost you family, it may cost you friends, it may cost you a multitude of things. But whatever you want, you will have. Some people can't see past drugs, and that's what they have. They're on Skid Row, they're getting high every day, and they're chasing a dragon, right? And some people, man, they all they want is business, and they're on Wall Street, and they're chasing a different dragon. It's the same thing, but it's where your focus ends up lying. So where is it that you want your focus to be? What kind of questions are you asking yourself right now? Are you asking questions that are disempowering? Or are you asking questions that are empowering? And how is your goal planning? I mean, I told you about one thing that you can start doing every week, 10 minutes, or I'm sorry, every day, 10 minutes. Get up 10 minutes early and hit that snooze button and visualize your day. Right there is one thing that you can start doing to impact your future immediately. Immediately. The question is, will you impact? Will you implement it? Will you do it? Or are you just listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth and going, "Oh, okay, well that's cool. That's neat." Is it impacting you? Is it inspiring you, or is it just entertaining you? Because the thing that we want it to do is impact. So what is it going to take to impact your future? What questions do you need to ask yourself to leverage yourself? We all know it. There's questions that we can ask ourselves that I think we're afraid to ask because when we get the answer, we don't want to do the answer. Well, the answer requires more work. Yeah, it does. Well, yeah, but the answer means that I'm going to have less free time. Yeah, it does. But I mean, and also it means I'm going to have less sleep. Mm-hmm. Yep. But that's the answer. So the real question then is, what do you really want, right? Because if you want to be successful, what you're doing right now is not going to work. You need to step it up. You have to step it up. You must step it up. If, however, though, you're totally cool with the situation that you're in, keep going along as planned. Keep doing what you're doing. Because I promise you, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting the same results. It isn't until you start doing something different that you're going to start getting some changes. Now, don't think that for a second you can start doing something different tomorrow and all of a sudden, woo, there it is. There's the difference. Now it's changed. Because that's not going to happen either. It's going to take months to get change. Could be a year, could be 2 years. But here's the real question. If you don't do anything, how long is that going to take? It's never going to happen. What if 2 years ago you had been doing these things? Where would your life be now? See, now you'd be like, woo, man, that's cool now. No, I'm down with that plan. Can we go back in time, right? And then I'll start doing it for the 2 years so that now I can enjoy it. That's not how life works. So here's another really cool question that you can ask. If I had to do something that I wasn't thinking was going to be fun, and it was like, all right, well, I've got to start doing some different things, and maybe one of them is going to be, getting involved in the bird dog program that Pete and Ivan have, right? And so I'm going to get involved in that, and that means I'm going to have to send out emails, and it means I'm going to have to start following up with calls, and I'm going to have to start learning about what deed in lieu of is, and all these different, or contract for deed is, and all these different strategies. And it might mean that for the next 6 months, 7 months, I don't get anything. But if I keep doing it, eventually I will. And if I keep pulling in, see, if you start looking at it of what else can I gain out of this besides just money? How can I make this fun for me too? Man, those little questions are awesome. Because when you ask that question, well, how can I make it fun for me? And maybe fun for me is not the same thing as fun for you, because there's some people that are very, right, straight-laced, and maybe my enthusiasm and my energetic and me wanting to go rock climb or go skydive, that's not their cup of tea. For them, they'd rather go read a book, or they'd rather go fishing or something like that, right? And that's cool. We've got to all find our own niches, our things that make us feel good, and then focus on those things. Focus on getting what is it that we want out of life. And then how do we go get it? How do we make it fun too? Because when you make it fun, when you make it about something you really care about, you can hang on longer. You can stay focused longer. You can stay on track longer. Because here's what happens. Everybody gets all excited and they go, man, you're right, Pete. You're right, Pete. Woo! Oh, man, that's a cool painting. And now you're all off in left field, right? Because it didn't happen fast enough. Because you couldn't get your ADD under control, right? But then what are you going to do then? You're going to keep bouncing from thing to 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 thing. And then you're going to be 50 going, man, I should have stuck with one of those. Well, yeah. But which one are you going to stick with? When are you going to make that decision? What would the person that you want to become do in this situation? That's a good question. What is the person that you want to do? What are they doing? When you envision being somebody, if you say, floating around on a yacht, well, then you're an idiot. And come on. That's a result of what you're doing, but that's not what you're doing, right? You're not just floating around on a yacht and getting paid millions of dollars to do that. That's not how you're making money. The floating around on a yacht is a result of all of the work that you did. But you cannot go float out on a yacht right now and then go, I'm going to make it. This is going to be awesome. Because it won't. It won't be awesome. And you won't make it. And you'll be really upset because somebody's going to kick you off of their yacht. And hopefully you'll be in a harbor and not out in the middle of the ocean, right? So what is it that the guy that floats on the middle of the yacht or floats on a yacht, what is it that he does? What is his business? And then find that. Now, obviously, there's guys that float on yachts that do almost anything in this world. So it really comes back down to what is it that you want to do to create the environment where you can float around on a yacht or fly around in a G5 or whatever it is that you specifically want to do. Buy your parents a house, buy your own house, buy a house and a second house. I mean, whatever it is. But that goal has got to be strong. Strong. It can't just be like, oh, that'd be cool. That's not good enough. It can't just be cool. It can't just be it can't be any of those things. It's got to be this yearning and desire inside of you that you can't live without it. Because the stuff that you're going to have to do as an entrepreneur, man, it's going to be unfair. It's going to piss you off. It's going to be, man, unfair is really the best word I have because that's how I think people feel a lot is this is unfair. And the other thing you can't do is judge your position off of those around you because they all have different resources. So stop looking at the guy next to you going, oh, how come he's there and I'm not there? Or how come they're way back there? I must be way better. You can't think like that at all. Everybody has a different resource palette. Everybody has a different connections. So where they are in life has nothing to do with where you are in life. If you want to be where they are, then figure out what they're doing. How many connections do they have? What kind of resources do they have? Because if you put the same ones with you, you're going to get the same results. All right. Okay. Well, let me see if we have any questions. I kind of went off for a whole long time. Thank you, Milton. Freezing a little. Oh, thanks, Benji. Zapped in the crap out of somebody. Yes. Okay. All right. So back on track. So goal planning, make sure you guys plan goals. You can't, again, we talked a little bit about this, but you cannot move through life. You cannot, if you want to build something, you have to have instructions. You have to have a manual. You have to have what it's going to look like when you're done, right? You don't go, well, I'm going to have a house. All right, cool. And then we give you a bunch of lumber and you just build something. All right, well, here it is. It's going to look like a cross between a teepee and a boat ramp, right? I mean, I have no clue what I would be doing. I think we can sleep under it, right? I wouldn't go in it though. So you have to have a goal. You have to have what it's going to look like. You have to have the end result in front of you and be facing towards that. So you guys can go to gomakesomethinghappen.com. We have the wristbands, all that other stuff. It's all about helping you get to where you want to go by reminding you on a daily basis. All right. All right. So questions are the key. Let me get a little drink here. Man, I've been going strong now. Now I'm starting to get, my mouth is all, Getting all dry. All right, cool. Man, this is awesome. We got like 85 people on right now. This is so cool. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Let's see. Questions are the key. First one we talked about was what is communication? And communication, right, is verbal. We've got, let me see here, verbal. We've got nonverbal. So we've got the words that we use. Then we've got the emotions, the facial expressions. That's one of the reasons why I tell you guys, man, be on the call live, because you get to see my face. You get to see my facial expressions. You get to see my body motion, which means you get more of my point. The message is clear when you can see me. So that's why if you can do it, you want to be on this call live, and we can have 100 people. So the fact that we've got 80, 85 right now, we could still have 15 more people that could watch and could get impacted by our message tonight, right? Which is awesome. And I mean, I think it's awesome. All right, understanding your situation, because if you want to go anywhere, you've got to know where you're at, right? Not only do we have to know where we want to go, we've got to know where we're at. We've got to know what resources we have. And then we have to make a map. How are we going to get there? So we need 3 things. We need to know where we're at, where we're going, and a map, right? That's what anybody needs. If you get in your car to go somewhere and you go to the GPS, it's not going to ask you where you are because the GPS already tells it. So it's already getting one of those answers, one of those questions answered, right? The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to say, well, okay, it's going to ask you, where are you going? What is your goal? What is your destination? And when you put that in, it's going to give you the choice of 3 routes: slowest, fastest, and most direct, or something weird like that, right? So you then get to make a choice, but you need all 3. You need to know where you are, where you're going, and how to get there. And that's part of what we're talking about tonight. Those questions really share how you're going to get where you want to go. Because even though you can get where you want to go, you can still get there and not be happy about it. We can ask different questions and ensure that we get there and we're happy about it. We can ask questions to filter our answers. And that's how you guys are going to get inspired to go where you want. And then we can create willpower and opportunity through pain, right? Believe me, if I take all your food away, you're going to definitely have the willpower it takes to go and find something to eat. You'll walk 5 miles if that's what it takes because you're hungry, right? So realize that pain isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can be a very inspiring thing. It can push you past limits that you thought you could never get through. And it can also show you what you're capable of. Look, I get excited when painful things happen because I know something great is about to happen. I know I'm about to break through something. I know right on the other side, that's the reason this pain hurts so bad, is because we don't know why we're going through it. We don't know what's on the other side of that line. But if I said, hey, look, all this pain that you're going through, no big deal. Tell you, in 2 months, you're going to be a millionaire. You'd be like, okay, cool, man. I don't care what happens. I got to sleep outside tonight. That's fine. Because you see the $1 million at the end of the tunnel. My question is, it's already there. It's already there. You should still be able to see it. Nobody has to actually put it there. You guys can build that $1 million. You can do anything you want because you have the key. The key are the questions that you're asking yourself. The key is when you get tired, when you say, you know what, I'm done. Are you able to ask yourself and say, have I given everything that I have? Is the person that I want to become, would they give up right now? Am I doing everything that I can to be the best person I can possibly be? Man, that question right there, I love too. Am I being the best me I can be right now? I love that. Because almost always the answer is no. Almost always the answer is no. Which means what? Which means I get to push myself harder. I get to change. I get to grow. Do you see what I mean? When you look at things like that in a positive way and you're excited about attacking them and taking them on, your life becomes limitless because you're not afraid to go in any direction. You're not afraid of where you're going to end up. You're not afraid of taking on something that's tough and getting involved because you know that you'll push yourself through because you've said, I'm done. I'm not living like this anymore. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to not live like this. And then you've stepped up. You've stepped up and put in the effort. You've given it everything. Look, there's times, I know everybody right now, if you close your eyes and you think back to a time where you pushed yourself so hard to create something, to attain a goal. Maybe it was running to beat somebody in a race, or to build something or something. But we've all been in competitions, and we've all pushed ourselves to that point where we've broken it, and man, we've won. How awesome does that feel? Hold on to that. Realize that that feeling is right here. It's right here. At any point that you want to tap into that, it's right here. How did you act in that kind of situation? What did you do, right? I mean, man, me just thinking about it, I can just grip my hands. I can feel that power within me. I know if you tap your mind and you go back into that moment when you were, man, when you started moving ahead and you realized that you could do it. That feeling of invincibility, right? You have that inside of you at all times. All you have to do is think about that moment. Keep that moment fresh. And then do things like Tony Robbins would say, right? And when you get to that motion and you start feeling the goosebumps, like rub your ear. Like in a weird way that you don't normally do it, right? So that it's an abnormal feeling. Because when you start doing that enough and you do that, now if you need to get into that good mood of invincibility, you can rub your ear and you'll instantly get that. It's like Pavlov's dog, right? If every time I ring the bell, I feed you, I ring a bell, you're gonna salivate. If every time you feel good, we rub your ear there, if I rub your ear there, you're gonna feel good. And that's how you can create yourself to be invincible at a moment's notice. Again, another key. And these two things, I'm telling you right now, I know I've done a lot of leading up to them, but I hope that you understand the impact of the three questions that I've already told you guys about tonight. Am I being the best me I can be? Am I giving everything I could give? Right? That I could give. Am I giving everything I could give right now? Am I doing everything to the best of my ability to work towards my goals? You're always going to say no, because you can always find something that you're not doing 100%, which gives you the opportunity to increase your power, to increase your ability. And man, to me, that's cool. I think that's cool. The ability to ask, how would the person that I want to become react in this situation? Again, I think that that's an amazing tool. Amazing. And then the third one that I just said, and now I can't I can't remember what I just said. But these are great questions, and you guys need to remember them. And I know that I know somebody will let me know what I just said. All right, next one, we move on, and now we're going to come to chapter 6, was the impact of words, which we were talking about, right? When you say the words try, can't, should, when you say I hope I'll get it done, and I mean it in that term, not like hope is an okay word. We want to give people hope. You need hope. But if you say, I hope I get it done, that's not going to happen. We know that's not happening. So it's really weird too. I think that the word try and can't are my two most challenging words that I have. And I've come to the realization that they are the laziest words in the English language, because I constantly want to use them. And so when you have to stop what you're going to say and then reword it in a way to mean the same thing, it's like, man, this is all right. I can't say I'm going to try to get this done. I've got to say, you know what? I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that happens. Now, me doing that, me rewording it, takes a lot longer to say that whole sentence, right? But it also is more specific. And it drives me in that way. Now that I've said that, I'm going to do that. Does that make sense? I mean, it's just, it's amazing the impact of words. And the same thing is in a positive way. I am amazing. We do this whole thing. If you guys are just tuning in, if this is the first webinar that you've heard me doing, I constantly talk about this. When I say I am amazing, you guys are hearing me, but you're repeating it in your head. So when I say I am amazing, I am amazing, I am amazing, it's you guys saying that you are amazing. I want you guys to close your eyes real quick. I want to do a little visualization with you. And I want you guys to go along this trail, go along this road. I want you to realize that everything that you want, you can have. And that when you wake up in the morning, every morning for the next week, you're going to hit the snooze button. And I want you to visualize for 10 minutes how your day is going to go. You're going to visualize your day being amazing. You're going to visualize things that you want to be getting done. And then at the end of the week, you're going to be back on this call and you're going to share with me how amazing it actually worked and how every time you visualize things getting done, they got done. That when you visualize them and put them in your chain of events for the day, that they actually occurred. And that you're going to start to see that the power within you is within you. That when you start to visualize and you're going to go, oh my God, this is awesome. Well, if I can do that, I can do more, right? Yes. Yes, you can. And so you're going to start visualizing more and more, and you're going to start to see the impact of that visualization more and more every single day. And that's the power of what we're talking about on Questions Are the Key. That's the power of Journey to Success. That's why I'm here. Now, I've dedicated every Sunday to doing this with you. So what are you dedicating? Do you guys listen to these different webinars during the week? Do you tap into the radio show? I mean, it's easy to do, and I'll show you guys later on. I've changed around some of the website too to make it a lot more convenient for you guys. So with that, man, last week we talked about the mindset of opportunity, right? If you're not looking for opportunity, it's certainly not going to come knock on your door. You've got to always be looking for that opportunity. And then tonight, communicating with others. Now, a lot of what I've been doing tonight is setting you up really for this entire chapter. Everything I've been doing tonight has all been communication. I've been talking to you. I've been using nonverbal, looking off to the side, right? Using pregnant pauses. Those are all forms of communication. They tell a story. They make it more impact. They make it impact the listener more. And so for me, when you think about it, perception is key. How people perceive you when they're looking at you in a situation. If they think one thing about you, when you say things, it's going to be a lot harder to overcome their initial perceptions. So don't set yourself up for failure. There's no reason to. You want to set yourself up to be the best you can be. And that means being you. That means stop trying to be, that means stop acting like other people. Now, I don't mean don't act like the person that you want to become. That person, yes, you do. But you don't need to act like a bunch of bankers if you're not a banker. You don't need to act like a bunch of whatever if you're not a bunch of whatever, right? What you need to do is find you. What do you want to do? Because, man, when you start sharing who you are, people are going to be a magnet to you. You know, it's weird. I think that I try and explain, man, I do my best to explain the radio show to people. And it's different because we aren't just a talk show on AM radio. I mean, my personality is so strong in that thing. And so it's very different than anything I've ever seen or I've ever heard. It's really all about infotainment. It's about entertaining, inspiring, and educating. That's what I wanted the radio show to be. And so constantly, like, I sit there and question, I'm like, man, am I going too far this way? Am I going too far that way? But then I have to stop and go, it's about, what do I want the perception to be? I want them to think that I'm allergic to average. I want them to think that this show is crazy. I want it to keep them on their toes. I want them to listen, and I want them to get educated and to inspire them. And of everything that I've heard on a consistent basis, it's always been that show is inspiring. So to me, that's awesome. I mean, even going back to like last Wednesday, right? I had Georgia Van Kylenberg on, who is one of the main voices in Final Fantasy, the game. She was in Star Wars video games. She is on Nemo the ride at Disneyland, the Star Wars ride at Disneyland. Like, she does a bunch of stuff. She interviews red carpet. That's not somebody you would typically have on a real estate show. She doesn't invest in real estate, but she is bald. She did have alopecia. She lost her hair, and she's done everything in spite of that. And that's why I had her on, because there's so many times that I hear from everybody the problems that they have. But you don't have problems like some of these people have. Why is it that they can do this and you can't? Why is it that they can move forward and you keep getting held back? It's because you're letting these little walls and these little things that you put up in front of yourself, you're letting them impact your life and dictate your life. And they shouldn't. Because if somebody with cancer, if somebody with alopecia, if somebody with, man, what is the one guy that can't even talk? He moves his head and right? And he's like one of the smartest guys, Stephen Hawking. I mean, that guy can't even talk. He's got to use a thing and bump on it to talk. So why is it that he can be in that situation? Nick Vitulia or whatever, he doesn't have any arms, no legs. And he was surfing with the girl that got the arm chopped off or eaten by a shark, right? Why is it that people with these huge adversities can make it, but us, normal, nothing wrong, maybe a little mental, but besides that, nothing. Why is it that we have such big challenges? It's because nothing's wrong with us. It's because we expect too much. We think that everybody owes us. We think that we should, I'm amazing. Why wouldn't everybody want to just throw money at me? I don't know, because you're not amazing. Not until you show people why you're amazing. You're not going to be incredible until you show people why you're incredible. You've got to step up. You've got to create. You've got to enrich other people's lives. You want to impact somebody? You want to make a difference? Enrich others' lives. Do something that will impact others, that'll help others. That's why I do this webinar. The whole thing, it's free. There's so many things that we do for free. The bird dog call, the radio show, all that stuff. It's because I want you to be able to know where you're at, but also so that as you start to grow, that, hey, maybe you will want to come out to April in Atlanta with us. And maybe you will want to take action at some point. And maybe you will want to invest with us, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more opportunities. I'm looking for more partners. I'm looking for more resources. And I know that, hey, look, if I don't educate people to some degree, nobody's going to have a clue. Plus, I love doing this. I mean, I love watching somebody go, oh my God, I get it. I get it. I get it. And I think the question thing is one of the hugest, because these small questions that I'm asking are literally changing the course of my life. They're changing the trajectory that I'm going. And they're easy. I mean, I'm telling you exactly what they are. I'm not saying, well, if you come to this seminar, then I'll tell you exactly what no, I'm giving you the question. They're that simple. But here's the thing. You guys can do all this yourself too. You can come up with questions. You could create questions that are going to work better for you. Possibly, I don't know, knowing your outcome. Do you think that that's important? Absolutely. We've been talking about that all night. The questions that I ask are all directed towards the outcome that I want. What is your outcome? Are you looking at it, or are you just saying, I want to be wealthy? I want to be wealthy. Oh, great. Okay, well, fantastic. How much money do you have? Oh, I have 140 in the bank. Great, you're wealthy. No, I'm not. You are to the guy in Kenya who has no money, right? You need to be specific. When you're writing down your goals, when you're writing down where you want to go, just saying, I want a lot of money, I want a bunch of houses, I want this, I want that. And don't just say, I want to flip 10 houses this month or this year, right? Because great, you're going to flip 10 of them. And if you lose money on all of them, is that okay? No. Be specific. I want to flip 10 houses and make 20 grand on each, 10 grand on each, 5 grand on each. I want to pass this class and get an A. I don't want to just pass the class. I don't want to just go to school. I don't want to just pass college, get my degree. I want to do it and get an A. I want to be at the top of my class. I want to be better than most. Not meaning that you want to think that you're better than other people, but meaning that you cared more than other people. So you drove harder, you drove farther, and you pushed yourself more because you cared. Because that type of person, when you go that extra mile, that's where all the juice is. Doing everything that's expected, man, I'm sorry, but if you do what you're expected to do, don't ask for people to compliment you. Man, you did a really great job there that you're getting paid for. You're getting paid for it. You better do a good job. If you don't do a good job, I'm firing your ass, right? So, I mean, doing a good job is what's expected of you to do. So getting all up in a puff going, I've been working there for 3 years, man, and I've never been this or I haven't gotten this. Well, what have you done that's extra at all? Nothing, right? As soon as it's, man, you are gone like Fred Flintstone. You're coming in late. You hate the job. So the fact that you're not moving up shouldn't be a shocker, right? You've got to find something that you're passionate about. You've got to find something that you're willing to put in 120 hours a week and it not be any big deal. For me, doing all this stuff, making the videos and creating the SEO, and I mean, in fact, we're going to be doing a new webinar series, which is called the Experts Corner, and it's going to be on every Tuesday. And on Experts Corner, we're going to have different webinars with different guests coming in, different hosts all the time. Next week, we're going to have Gene Norton. The week after, we're going to have Justin Velthoen. And that's going to be the start of a 7-part series that'll be every other week on SEO. Because, man, it is so important for you guys to understand what SEO is and how it works. You cannot tell me you want to change your life. You need resources. I want to be an investor. You need resources. I want to get a better job. You need resources. You need to be connected. You need to understand what SEO is and what you're doing. You need to understand how to protect your image online. How do you make sure that what you're putting out there is what's actually out there? These are huge things. And again, not just for, I think they're huge for real estate, obviously, and selling properties, but they're huge for you and understanding like whatever you want to do with your life and branding you. People don't care. If you're a real estate investor, if you're a mortgage broker, it doesn't matter what you are. If people don't like you, they don't care what you do. People have to know you. First, they got to know you. Then they got to like you. But if they don't know you or like you, believe me, I don't care what you have. You're not going to be wealthy from it because nobody knows who you are. So that's why SEO is important, is to get people to know who you are. And then the week after that, we're going to have Skip on rehabbing or ready for remodel. And so every other week, we're going to have a different webinar on. And it's just going to be awesome, man. Experts Corner. And I just wanted to bring more resources, but I wanted to do these in a way where I could ask questions of the experts, right? So I basically, so many times, even on this one, you guys don't ask questions. Even when I say, does anybody have any questions? Nobody does. But I know you guys do. I know there are times when you guys have a question and you think either A, it's a stupid question, I don't want to feel dumb asking it, I don't want people to know I don't know this answer, or any of that stuff. So I'm going to do it with them, and I'm going to ask all the questions that people think are too dumb, or the questions that I think people might have that they're afraid to ask, so that we can really get you guys to a better understanding. My goal isn't to inundate you with information. My goal is to educate you to the point you can make better choices. All right. So I'm not trying, man, my goal is not to create a career student out of you. My goal is to create a leader. Leaders have to be educated. They do. You can't be a leader and not be educated. So if I want to build leaders, if I want to create leaders, you've got to be educated. You've got to understand what's going on. So, and knowing your outcome, focusing on what's possible, right? If you only focus on the negative, if you only focus on, well, how it isn't going to work, you're never going to get off of first base. You're never going to take the first step. How are you ever going to get there? All you do is focus on what isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen, right? What does it really need to happen? You need to focus on where you want to go and then focus on how you're going to get there. Don't worry about what isn't possible. Don't think about that. Well, I'm never going to be able to do that. Okay, fine. Then why are you even talking about it? If you can't do it, shut up. I don't want to hear it. Don't talk about that. Talk about what you can do. It's one of the biggest pet peeves of mine is when people tell me what they can't do. I don't care about what you cannot do. What you feel is outside of your whatever it is, comfort zone, ability, capability, any of that. What do I care about? What you can do. Tell me what you can do then. Let's spend time talking about that. Why don't we focus on that for a little bit? Every day, you guys walk around and you complain about things that are out of your control instead of focusing on what is in your control. It's just like Georgia was talking about when she lost her hair. She goes, I had to stop and go, well, you know what? At least I have voiceover work. At least I had this. She had to focus on what she did have. So she didn't lose her mind off of what she just lost. How many times, though, do you guys, you miss a light, right? And now you're completely spun out because you didn't catch that light. You didn't turn left fast enough, right? All this dumb stuff. And now you're all spun out, and then your phone rings with a potential client. And you're like, oh, I can't even call this, can't even answer this because now I'm in a bad mood because you didn't turn left in time. Okay. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Some of these dumb things that we do, I do them too. So please do not think that I am sitting there going, you guys do all these things. Honestly, I'm telling you all the dumb stuff I do, man. And I'm praying to God that some of you guys do some of this too. So everybody's not going, I have no clue. Does anybody else know what the hell he's talking about right now? I have never done any of that. My word. So I've just got to guess that I'm not the only person in this boat. And that's why I'm talking about that questions are the key, right? That journey to success is our journey. It's not just my journey. It's not just your journey. It's our journey. And we're going to talk about all this stuff together. Let me see. Thank you, Mike. Your mic just got very quiet. Okay, am I back up now, Stephanie? Or is it still quiet? Hello, 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 hello. Is it okay now? Can you hear me now? Not me. Yes, no. Okay, I'm going to assume that you guys are good, or it's just nobody's hearing me. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Stephanie. All right, perfect. All right, and then what's your background? I think this one's huge. And I think a lot of times you guys don't think about this. You don't think about the now, as many times as I say, don't look in the rearview mirror, right? Like stop, break that rearview mirror. At some point, though, you have to somewhat look in the rearview mirror and go, what was my background? What was I raised like? What are some of the things that happened in my past? And are they preventing me from saying yes right now? Because here's the thing, guys, even though I'm saying don't look back, if you're being inhibited, if you're throwing up walls in front of you and you're like, I don't know why I don't like doing this. I just don't like doing this. Well, why? I don't know. Do you like making money? Yeah. Then what's the problem? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with something in your past, right? If you were doing a strategy and something horrible happened doing that strategy, and now later somebody's talking to you about doing something that's a similar strategy, that could be making you lose your mind. And at that point, you need to stop and go, okay, well, A, am I justified with thinking that this strategy is horrible? Probably not. Okay. But if you can't get past that, then you need to drop it and move to a different strategy. All right. But you also need to understand that everybody's world is different. And this is what I mean by that. If we polled 100 investors, I'm sure half of them, minimum, would all say different states are the best states to invest in. And then if we asked about specific states that could be bad, you're going to get somebody that says, oh my God, don't ever, ever, ever go to New Mexico. Horrible real estate market. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Stay out of it. It's horrible. It's crashing. It's the worst. And you could have somebody come up right behind him and go, oh my God, New Mexico is the only place to be right now. I am getting deal after deal after deal. I'm making like 80 grand on each one of them. And both are correct. Both. Why? A, because it's their perception. It's the glasses that they're looking through. The people that they know, the connections that they have created that reality for them. One person has horrible connections and only got burned. The other person has great connections, is connected to the right people in that market, and has deal hand over fist. So the question then becomes, if there are opportunities in every market, if you don't have opportunities in your own market, you're just not connected to the right people. If you don't have, and so, okay, well then how do we get connected to the right people, Pete? How do I find the right people? That's a great question. Let's go down that little road. How would you find the right people? How do you think, if I lived in, let's say, New Mexico right now, because I don't think anybody on this call is from New Mexico. I don't know, you could be, but if you're not, let's pretend that you're not. Or if you are, let's pretend that you're not. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to New Mexico. I've never been there. I want to find out. I want to get connected to deals in New Mexico. What would the first thing that I would do be? I would find one of the largest brokers. Then I'd find who's buying all the properties. I'd start looking through and find out what flipper, what rehabber was doing things, talking to REI clubs, finding out who's doing a massive amount of deals. And then I'd get connected with them. I'd find out what they're doing. Where are their contacts? Hey, can I do anything for you? Anything at all? I don't care. I'll go water the grass. I'll paint signs. What do you need done? I'll do it. Because for me, it's about getting those connections. The workload doesn't matter. The connections matter. The opportunities, where he's getting those deals from, matters. And the other thing is, you're always going to find opportunities in action. I'll repeat that. You will always find opportunities in action. For me, that's the only place opportunities have ever lied. It's always about when I'm out doing things, that's when things happen for me. That's when I get connected to opportunities, to deals, to people. And people are amazing. I mean, not the boring people that suck, but the cool people, right? They're amazing. I'm just kidding. To get connected to. It's all about the relationships. Last week we did our wine and dine in Cerritos. And we had Gil Ordonez was out there and his sister, Yasmin, and we had Cynthia, and we had Skip was out there, and John, and I think, there was two others. Anyways, there was a bunch of people out there, and they were all so cool. And for me, it's like, man, what a shame that there are other people out there that thought, you know what, I'm not going and they just started making up different excuses, reasons that they didn't want to be there, instead of finding the one reason that would have mattered to be there. And they would have gone there and got strategies, got connections. I mean, Gil's doing wholesaling. He's wholesaling deals. So why wouldn't you want to find a wholesaler that's to get connected to, right? Skip's doing stuff on Ready for Remodel. I mean, different strategies, different opportunities. That's what this business is all about. So why are you at home sitting behind a TV or behind even a computer screen? Not on Sunday. Sundays are a great day to do that. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Why wouldn't you want to come out to a live event? And I don't mean just mine. I mean anybody's. Because when you connect with people in person, you're going to get real relationships out of it. Facebook, that's great. And webinars are great, but this is a real one-sided conversation because I don't get to see you. I don't get to see your reactions. I would love to, though. I mean, I can never hear enough of what I'm doing to impact other people. And I don't mean in an ego stroke way. I mean in a way that so that I understand what I'm doing that works. What am I doing that actually makes you inspired, that gets you moving forward? What are those things? It's when you guys share the stuff on Facebook and everything. And Gil, man, I think you're even on here tonight. Maybe you're not. I thought I saw you. Yeah, you are. You did a great job with sharing on Facebook and stuff. And so I wanted to give you a shout out and tell you thank you. It's really about us growing in the grassroots way. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on advertising. That's not what our goal is. Our goal is growing through people, growing through your accomplishments, growing through your vision and your dreams. So if this isn't working, if you're not getting anything out of it, then hey, hit me up and let me know that too. I'm not afraid of constructive criticism, unless you don't like my sound effects, and then get out of here. I don't care. And then if that's the case, then go ahead and step over to your right slightly, just a little bit. Don't worry about it. The bright light is fine. Oh man. All right. They're gone. Does anybody else have a problem with the sound effects? Anyone? No? All right. Because if you did, I could definitely take. Whoa. It's not making. Oh, that's why it's not making any noise. I have an RPG too. See, I'll take care of you over there. Because
I don't know, maybe because it's super badass.
It is. It is. So, my sound effects are my sound effects, and I've spent a lot of time getting those things going. But it's to keep you guys entertained. It's to have fun and to see what happens. So, anyways, moving on. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys real quick here a few things about our website that we've changed. One thing is the calendar tab. I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but we'll actually go and show you. In fact, here, let me just do this live. That'll be easier. Whoa. Where'd we go? Let me hit escape. Maybe that's it. There we go. All right. Okay, maybe. All right. So here's one thing right here. This is peteasmus.com, and I thought this was pretty neat. I've now made it so that you can come to peteasmus.com and you can just hit play right there, and it plays the last episode of the radio show that we've done. And then this is the last episode of Journey to Success, and you can just register like that. Isn't that cool? And you don't even leave the page; just fill it out, and you're all done and good to go. Here, however, if you go to coast to coast or c2crea.com, go right to the front page of that, and you'll see that right over here we have our April in Atlanta. You can now download the ebook, and again, it's super easy. It just goes there. You put your information in, hit download, and that's it. It'll get sent right to you. I think it's either emailed to you or you download it and it downloads on your browser. But just cool things like that. The radio show, the last radio show is right here. Our daily motivational videos are right here, and all you got to do is click on them. Right down here are our last 2 webinars. This is the Credit Sense webinar that happened last week. Man, 2 hours of straight knowledge on credit. It was nuts. If you guys have not listened to that, make sure you guys check that out. So like I was saying, if you go up here to the calendar tab, when you click on the calendar tab, it's going to take you right to our calendar, and it'll show you what's going on. So let's say, here we are today. Let's say you're like, well, who's going to be on the show on Wednesday, which is a great question. Jeremy Roll. And I don't know if you guys know who this is, but I want to make sure you guys listen to this webinar, or I'm sorry, this radio show. Jeremy basically, he went to Wharton's business school, right? Which is like the top business school in the nation. Ended up getting a job at a startup, then went on to work at Disney. Went at Disney, ended up, I think he worked one more place, possibly at either Google or something like that, Yahoo maybe, and then had built up cash flow so much that he was able to quit and go and do this full time. And so I want to have him on to share with his journey on how he did that, because I know a lot of you guys, that's what you want to do. He has a 20-year plan. 20. Most of you guys don't even have the goal for next week. That's why I keep sharing with you guys. Goals. Write down your goals. He's got a 20-year goal. Do you? Do you even have a 1 year goal? A 1 week goal? We got to start making goals happen. All right. That's why he is where he is. So make sure you guys check that out. Webinars. Here's another cool site now. When you guys come on here for any of these webinars that you haven't done, you can actually sign up for every single one of them and never even leave the page. Like I said, it's going to do the same thing. We got to let the page load. But once the page loads, just like happened on the other side, you can come over here, and we're actually having another ALF webinar tomorrow night. So if you want to register for that one, you just click right there, put your information in, boom, hit enter, and you're good to go. It's that easy. I mean, how cool is that? Now, here is the Experts Corner. You can sign up for the next 800 steps there. We're going to be doing a acquisitions and action in Atlanta, talking about researching remotely, how you do that, things like that. We're going to be talking about that next week with Gene. And I'm going to put some more stuff in there. Then we have all of our podcasts are right here. You can check out all the different podcasts like Investing Coast to Coast, and go right here and just check it all out. And it has all of our titles to our shows and everything else. So again, this is about being, it's about creating a huge resource for you guys, right? Experts Corner has the same thing. Experts Corner here, it's got the interview with Meryl, and then Liz also does a blog for us. So, these are great articles, man. You guys should definitely come and check these things out. Finding Motivation, Determination, Daring to Dream. She's actually editing and working with me on my book right now that I'm writing. And I wanted to show you guys again real quick that book, because I thought that was just nuts. Oh, wait, it's not here. It is right here. Because when I was doing this, I wanted to point out when I said it was 50 pages, right? Look at this though. 51, chapter 10 is 51. There's nothing on it. 50, nothing on it. 49, nothing on it. The last chapter that's kind of written is chapter 7. So next one we got to write is 8, 9, 10. But this thing is already 53 pages, and it's not even remotely done yet. But it's really, really cool. A lot of really cool information, really cool questions that you can ask, and different tools, just different things that you can do, man, just to create a different outcome. I'm really excited about it. And there is the first quote of the book. The questions we ask ourselves show us what we think we're capable of. I thought that was such and man, again, if I wasn't writing, I wouldn't be able to get quoted, right? Because I wouldn't be writing anything. The only way to be able to get quoted is to actually write something so somebody can quote it. And I mean, I even think on some of these things, I say some really good things, which I don't know. It's just cool. I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I enjoy the fact that you guys are here and you guys are with me, and yeah, I'm appreciative. So back here again, real quick, all my little guys. Oop, there we go. So you got the calendar tab, the webinars, the podcasts, the message line. If you guys ever have a question that you guys want us to answer on the radio show, and it doesn't matter what time it is, you can call the message line. In fact, that'd be awesome if a few of you guys did that for tomorrow's radio show, because tomorrow's guest is you guys. It's always going to be our listener. So the other thing you can do, if you'd like, which would be awesome, would be to call in our 760 number, the 760-931-1604 between 10 and 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, and tune in and listen to the show, but also tune in and ask a question. I mean, get involved, engage. Why? Why not? Why not? You haven't done it yet, and your life's still moving in the same direction. Maybe this is one of those little things that you can do, and it's going to be a win. When you call in, it's something different. You'll be winning. You'll be doing something that's moving past the next level, right? Now, right here, too, if you guys check this out, you guys can connect with us. All of our different connections are there. And then this is really awesome. That whole thing is a banner, guys. So if it's between 10 and 11 a.m. Pacific, well, you can press it at any point. But if you want to hear us on it, it only works for us between 10 and 11 Pacific. So let's say you don't know the station, it's AM 1450, but let's say, oh, I don't know the station, I don't know where it's at, Not a problem. On your phone, on your iPad, on your laptop, on anything, go right to our c2crea.com at 10 o'clock and click on that button. It'll take you right to the page and it'll start playing. You'll start streaming the radio station. So it's that easy. I mean, it's that easy. That's how easy I made this for you guys. And then you have the radio show. You can download now. I showed you how that worked. What's happening this week? Well, Monday's show is all about you. On Tuesday, we're going to have Jillian Sidoti, who is an attorney, talking about, funds, group funding, all that kind of stuff, crowdfunding, that type of thing. Wednesday is not Leslie Horn. Man, okay, these are not right. Wrong one. That must not have got blacked out. So this is the right one. There we go. So we'll start this one back up. Okay. So these are what's happening this week. All right. We've got on Tuesday, Jillian Sidoti. I knew that was right. Wednesday is Jeremy Roll, the cash flow king, founder of Phoebe, for investors, by investors. On Thursday, we have Ryan Owens, who is, I believe, a mortgage broker. Thursday night, we have the Ivan Oberon's Bird Dog to Intern coaching call, absolutely free. And Friday is Mark Kohler, who is your small business and tax expert. He is an attorney and a CPA, and the guy is just an amazing speaker, an amazing guy. Just knowledge is ridiculous. Also on Tuesday night, we are going to be at Red Robin in Temecula at 6:30. So doing our wine and dine with us. Why not come out, check it out, and have fun? Tomorrow, we're going to be talking all about the assisted living facility live training in Phoenix. So that's what the webinar tomorrow night is going to be about. The one last week, we talked about the online training. Tomorrow night, I'm going to do it with Gene. We're going to really talk about what we're going to be focusing on the live training there and what we're going to be going over. All right. So you can tune into that. C2CALF.com. You can go ahead and register. And that's Ivan and I. And there we go. We also have the April in Atlanta. That's right. C2CREA.com/action. You can still do that. Code word is early bird to save $500. We are going to be giving away a property on the training. It's only, I think, $1,500 right now with that early bird discount. And we are going to be going there to buy property. So the whole point of it is to buy properties. We will be coming back. Ivan and I will be coming back owning properties. If you come with us, I hope it's you too. If you don't want to, we're not going to make you, but That's the point of this trip. It will be educational, but I cannot say enough how much I'm focused on. We're buying and holding and buying and flipping properties out there. And it's going to be a great market. In fact, if you saw, the Huffington Post said that Atlanta was the number one destination to live in America. And I posted that up on my Facebook site today. It was pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Why we're doing the things that we're doing. Now, here is our radio show, Allergic to Average Radio, right? Investing Coast to Coast with Pete Asmus and Ivan Oberon. Every Monday through Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. We got the call-in line and the message line. And you can also tweet your questions and then just hashtag it C2C RIA or C2C REIA. And then that way we watch the feed during the show. And if you have a question or anything like that, we can go ahead and respond to it. So that's that. Successful People Read. Man, I love the font here where it looks like it's just impacted into the screen. Anyways, Force Your Dreams into Reality. That is my book. I showed you where you could download that for free. Unfair Secrets of Hypnotic Selling. I got that on Amazon or Kindle, and I think it was 99 cents. Awesome book. And then Never Eat Alone. I actually have the audiobook of that. And if you would like it, you can, go ahead and email me and I can send that to you. So it's all about getting information to you guys so you guys can make better decisions. And then last but not least, you can go check out peteasmus.com or connect with me at c2cria.com. Now, woo, man, I did everything I could too. I thought I'm gonna have this in an hour today. I'm gonna only do an hour today, but that obviously did not happen. So with that said, it is not on iHeartRadio, Jonathan. Thank you. I wanted to see also if anybody had any questions. Holy cow. Okay. Do you know or recommend? Also, Stephanie, just so you know, well, now I said who it's from, so now I got to read this and not read it out loud. Do you recommend or know of any reputable investment groups in Southern California for people who already invest in who are ready to invest capital and have their goals ready? I tried to attend the rewards groups in Corona. You know what? Yeah, Stephanie, we're actually going to April in Atlanta. I would, if you want to go to c2cria.com/action and check out what we're going to be doing in Atlanta. We're also looking at doing some properties out here. So if you're interested in JVing or anything like that, then absolutely let us know. We've got options, and there's other groups too. I can put you in touch with some different people, but yeah, that's exactly why we're doing what we're doing. So you can go ahead and email me at pete@c2cria.com, or you can email Ivan at c2creia.com as well. And yeah, it's all about having connections. I'm with you. Now, does anybody else have any questions at all before we go? Again, I do. Well, I don't really apologize for keeping you on late because I'm donating my time too, right? So you may be listening, but I'm sitting here talking the whole time and blowing out. My voice is all hoarse now. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I hope you learned something. I mean, let me ask that. Did you learn something? Did you guys get something out of? Perfect. Thank you, Marie and Jim. Good. So I'm glad that I want to make sure that you guys are getting something every week. And I want to always make sure it's different too. It's not always going to be me hyper and jumping up and down. It's not always going to be me. Well, it'll never be me really mellow, but it won't always be me to the same level of craziness or energy, because there needs to be some kind of canyon, right? Or whatever. At any rate, I hope you guys have a great week. You guys need to go make something happen. And again, if you have any questions or anything, make sure you guys email me at Pete Asmus, or I'm sorry, at pete@c2cria.com. With that said, guys, have a great night, have a great week, and spend 10 minutes every morning going over and visualizing your day. Have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you later. I always think that's going to happen right away, and then